I served my term, and I think that was the term set by the law. Again, I was so fortunate that my deputy, who has taken over, so there is a continuity. Well, I think he's improving on what is being built because he has come from a different perspective. He was elected twice, deputy mayor elected by all members of the council. So, I used to introduce him as the elected mayor and I was the appointed mayor. So, I think we have a pretty good chap in the seat. I don't think anyone with a passion and a vision and a mission would come and tell you, I've done it all. No, there's a lot to be done. And where do I begin? Was it in tourism, you asked me, in the airline, you asked me, in Aqaba, you asked me, as a mayor,
yes.
This is a city of 800 square kilometers, 55 million kilometers of paved roads that need to be maintained, 8 million vehicle cars every day, a peak number of 1.8 million cars, 4.4 million people. No way. There's so much to do, and there's plenty for my successor and the council to do. Well, I don't like to list things down, but I would say that I put the mayoral presence of GAM where it should be, the position of a mayor, both locally, nationally, and internationally. Worked on the empowerment of staff, the finances of the municipality from close to a bankruptcy to a bankability. We have a bankable city now. And of course, we've brought in the BRT, the bus rapid transit into action again, and I think that's a big achievement. And definitely improvements here and there in procedures and procurement and the like. But there is always room for more to do, and I'm proud of having managed to do the things I did. I wouldn't call that lost friends. I call them أعدقاء. A combination, a concoction of أصدقاء وأعداء. But it's just because I held my ground on certain views. I may be wrong. I don't know. Time will prove. But for sure, I had to put my foot down on a number of things that I thought were not going right and had to be rectified. And I think we'll see the results of that. If we haven't, we will see them in the future. I wouldn't want to change anything. Would I secure the same wife, same children, grandchildren, friends, experiences? Would I guarantee a kingdom and a country like Jordan, and leadership like the leadership in Jordan? So I'm satisfied with what has gone, and when I wake up in the morning and I thank God for beginning. Today is the beginning of the rest of my life. So it's just like a newborn, and I'm so grateful that I have been given the chance to do what I have done. Maybe I've gone old to stay on. No, seriously speaking, I think this is a great chance where I can invest into something new in the business life. But I've done this before in a different way. I've done it in Aqaba, and I've done the same as a mayor. The development of a dynamic urban development like Al Abdali now is and will always be part of Amman. And when I dwell back on the days of Aqaba, to also have a master plan and then make sure that the master plan is on track, and look back now some 17 years and see things are going right, you know, that is something that has encouraged me to take this job. It's a challenge, but again, the difference between a private sector and public sector is that in the private sector you are accountable to the owner of the business. You know, it's like one person. Whereas in the public sector, it's a wide spectrum. It's a wide range, and maybe you can get away with things, but in the private sector, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's performance and performance and performance. We're looking ahead at the completion of phase 1 in Al Abdali, and we're seriously looking at now phase 2, which is another 1,000 dunams adjacent. And it will be a dynamic urban development with heavy residential and conferencing. We will have certain surprises, an icon building, details of which will be revealed later on as we secure funding and approve design. We're looking at an icon in a city, a 12,000-year-old city, coming up with the most modern, dynamic urban development with the retail, residential, commercial, offices, and recreational, right there in the city. And again, I'm seriously thinking of how to link the Abdali with the downtown. So there will be the King Hussein or Shari al-Salt as a kind of a connecting, I want to use a word of turbine between the downtown and the uptown Amman Abdali. So you can walk into the city. It's a beautiful walk through Al Abdali, through Luwebde, and for tourism. City tourism is what we are also focusing on. Shopping is important. But let me share with you, Iyad, that Jordan and Amman are definitely going to be the launching pad for the reconstruction of the Levant, of the Middle East. So this we are confident of. And it will be the place for back offices for many companies. It will be the city for thousands of families to come and live here, for schools to take students from near and far. Look at the development in around you. You'll see that we're ready. We have to move towards that goal. That's why we have to have that mindset on being so active in the development of the entire region. We can do it. I don't think that's a correct way of putting it. I believe that the competition has become so harsh and wide, and there are carriers around that operate with subsidies galore, with quality that is definitely of the highest standard, but they can afford it. You know, and here we find that our share in Royal Dane is less than 50% of the market share, whereas as a national carrier, it should be more than 55, should be even 60%. But look at the flock of flights and companies and airlines operating in and out. That brings the competition. But maybe we've had little snags here and there during the summer, the wrong aircraft, the wrong leased aircraft, but I'm sure now the board and the executive body are working very, very hard to rectify things and bring it back to standard. We look hopefully at a profitable year in spite, operating profit, in spite of the setbacks we've had at the beginning of the year. Well, tell me where there isn't a problem. I mean, but as long as we can specify, as we can put our fingers on it, and then deal with it. And I think that's what the chairman and the executive body are doing now. They're identifying problem areas and they're tackling them one by one.